my mind, I've got 'em big red on the line. That's where I go when I'm itching to feed my 7-day addiction.
And just let us know when we're ready. So. All right, guys. Well, welcome to the 5th episode of the Palo fishing. Actually, let me go and just lower this right here. So today we are here with some very special guests to talk about women and getting them into fishing. So let's go around the table here. So I've got Sam Robles. I'll be facilitating this call or this class.
Fabian Hernandez.
Victor Ramos.
Laurel Cantu and Laurel Cantu.
All right. So I mean, obviously these girls are very prepared. They came with notes and they want to touch on a lot of things. And so actually let's just jump right into it. So let's talk about women in fishing.
Yeah, I mean, I think women need to get out there. We need to get our rods wet. I think the industry is calling for it. You know, people have said that it's a male-dominated sport, but it doesn't need to be. We need to get out there. We need to get our rods wet.
So what are some of the, I mean, when I think of women, like I think of some of the women in my life, like my wife, my mom, my sister, and my cousins. And so I think there's a lot of obstacles. Like there's a lot of things that women have to overcome to be able to get out on the water. I think even like my wife, like she knows I like to fish. Victor's wife loves to fish and she'll go out with them, but it's not like they're like engaged with it, right? They're like, it's more like, okay, like, yeah, I'm gonna go fishing with you today, and next week you're gonna go with me to the mall or something, right? It's funny we said that at the same time too. So yeah, let's talk about that. So I mean, do you think all women can enjoy fishing? What are some of the obstacles?
What got y'all started?
What got us started? Well, it's kind of it's an unusual story. I didn't grow up fishing. I didn't actually start fishing till a couple of years ago. I actually just left an abusive 5-year relationship.
Sorry to hear that.
Wow.
That was my identity. I had no identity. I didn't know who I was. You know, my identity had become him. And I just didn't even recognize the person in the mirror anymore. I mean, it just completely washed out. And, you know, a few months later, I'm trying to rebuild. I'm trying to understand, like, what's next? How do I overcome this? And a really good friend of mine was like, let's go. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but we are going to go. And we got on a boat. It was January. It was cold. It was wet. I didn't have the right gear, which we talked about, you know, troubles, you know, learning how to fish and barriers. The right gear is so important. And the captain actually gave me his Under Armour pants to put on because just a windbreaker, just because I was so cold out there. But it was a hard day of fishing. I mean, we didn't catch anything. We were throwing soft plastic. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just there to have a good time, right? A distraction. And we'd been fishing for hours. I mean, no bites. We tried spot after spot. And I loved it. But, I mean, whatever. It was like, okay, I could take it or leave it. And then I hooked onto a 29-inch red. I had no idea how to leverage the rod to bring it in. So it was brute strength. I had the rod, you know, of course, up because I had no idea what I was doing. And I was just cranking.
And is someone coaching you as this is going on, or
everyone is screaming?
do this.
Yeah. I didn't understand what anyone was saying. It was me and the rod and the fish, and everyone is screaming at me because it had been a hard day. No one had caught anything, and I'm just brute strength.
Yeah.
And there was a moment where I wanted to pass the rod to my friend because I was tired. I mean, I was drained. I had no idea how to leverage the rod, so it was just pure strength. And I tried to hand my buddy the rod. And he's like, no, keep going. And I just kept reeling, and the captain netted it. And it was that moment when I was just so thankful that he had, okay, you do this. You have this moment. And knowing that I caught that fish. And that was it. That was the last cast. We took off. We went
last cast, 29
minutes. That was it.
Last cast. See, that's why it's always good to cast that last cast, right? So it's like
2
one more
cast.
Last cast.
Yeah,
5 more
I know,
minutes.
right?
5 more minutes. One last cast. So.
But it was that moment where this made me feel great. It was empowering. It felt like I was 9 feet tall. And that was it. I mean, after that, I just kept going and going as much as I could.
So you think had you not caught that fish at the end, you would have given up on it after that kind
I mean,
of
it would have been
miserable
a take
day.
it or leave it. You know, it was kind of a tough day out there, but also any day out in the water is amazing. It was beautiful. You see the birds, you see the fish. I saw stingrays. I saw, flounder swimming around that day.
This was all part of that first day
that was
out
the
there.
first
Yeah.
day in January.
Yeah.
I mean, what a tough day to go fishing in January.
Yeah, January's tough.
Yeah, it's cold and windy and wet. But the red definitely sealed the deal for me.
So it seems like catching a fish like it is going to be the first thing that sizes like it really is
Feeling
going
the
to
power,
hook
feeling
you
the
and like that.
drag.
But maybe it's not even like I mean I take my wife and she catches like we catch small fish, right? So I guess if you have to catch something that's big, it's something that's memorable.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, at 29 and your last cast. I mean,
Yeah, on plastic, which I didn't know the significance of that yet. But I mean, now in hindsight, like that was
like
actually
my wife
crazy
goes
catch.
with me, once in a while. And she's never caught a big fish.
Uh-huh.
And that's the day I'm waiting for, because I know the day she
Yeah.
lands a big
Right.
fish is the day where
That's
things
it.
are going to change.
Right.
That's what you keep telling yourself. You keep hoping yourself.
That's the day you go from an 18 to a 24.
Or her mindset is as soon as I catch a big fish, I don't have to go
Oh,
out with
no,
him
so
anymore.
we're leaving. Like
We're done.
like the last video when I caught that last rod, she's like, "Yes, we're leaving."
Yeah,
I was just like, man, okay. So,
But I think catching fish is going to be a big one. You know, my sisters and my wife actually this past summer we went to Los Rios Rod and Gun Club, an amazing pier, and we were catching fish after fish after fish, and it didn't matter who was at the end of that rod, they were catching fish, and they want to go back.
Right.
You know, so it's one of those things. I think catching and actually having a productive day is going to make a big difference.
Oh, definitely.
You know, but do you feel that if you hadn't caught that fish, and I know you're saying that you saw a lot of things, but would that have changed it? Because I mean, you're talking, you just started fishing in January,
Yeah.
so less than a year ago.
Well, last January.
Okay, so 2 Januaries ago.
Yeah.
Okay, do you feel that you would have continued?
I would like to think I would have, but I mean, it was a tough day out there, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would have kept it. Maybe if probably my friend would have kept dragging me
Would have
out.
done it again.
And then I would have had the win, and then it'd have been like, okay, I'm sold. Like,
Gotcha.
let's do this. Let's keep going.
So two things that really stood out. One we talked about already was the catching a fish. The other thing is like you said, like my friend would have kept on dragging me out there,
Mhm.
right? So you have to have someone out there that's
Yes.
willing to drag you. So based on that, I mean,
encourage you.
yeah,
Right? Willing to
encourage you, drag you,
Yes.
right?
Whatever it takes.
but even like that, so did your friend encourage you to go out on this first trip as well?
I mean, you said on the boat. I was like, yeah, sounds great.
Okay, but it's something like hey, let's go fishing, or something like you were like, hey, I'm interested in going fishing. Let me go ask some people around, or was you?
So
you
was
appro-
it your idea, or somebody just came up to you and be
He,
like, "Oh,
he
your friend"?
approached me.
Yeah,
He had
okay.
approached me.
So,
for
so,
sure.
so guys, like there you go. Like we heard it right now. Encourage your wives, bring them out there,
Yeah.
drag them out there, and put them on fish. That's my problem. I drag my
You don't put 'em on fish.
in the right gear. You know,
in the right gear. Yeah.
You know, I see women or even general people wearing tank tops and wearing shorts and wearing flip flops, which is if you're out there for maybe an hour, it's no big deal. But when you're out there for hours and hours, I would have been more comfortable if I had worn windbreaker pants and a windbreaker jacket that day.
Yeah.
And if you're not comfortable, like at least maybe for me, maybe because I'm a girl, I don't know. But if I'm not comfortable, it's tough to be out there.
Yep.
But when you're wearing the right gear and you're wearing the long sleeve and you have your hat and you have your buff and you got pants on, I can be out there for hours. And
It's not just because you're a girl. It's for
Yeah,
me
it's
included.
everywhere.
I gotta be comfortable when I'm out fishing. If I don't take my wading shoes and I want to wade, I'm not gonna wade.
Right.
I think
It's
that's
gonna be
everything.
different.
You have to be comfortable doing
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anything.
and
Yeah, anything.
having the right
Yeah, your mind starts playing tricks on you, and like he just like upsets you, and then you put yourself in that place where you're not going to be happy no matter
you
what.
start
right?
making excuses of
So
why
even
you
if your
want to
wife
leave.
says, no, I don't want a long sleeve shirt, just throw it in your backpack.
Yeah.
Take
So
it out.
so do you fish as well too?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
she does.
Okay, and do you do the same kind of? What was your introduction into fishing?
Introduction, this girl right here.
Okay.
She dragged me and my sisters out, and that's basically what we do. Like, we fish together. That is our thing, and it's awesome.
So
Tell 'em
before-
about your red.
That's awesome.
Tell 'em about
Before-
your red.
Okay, so the night that I was sold on fishing was the night I hooked up to my first bull red. It was so cold. It was raining,
horrible.
drizzling. It was like I couldn't even tie a knot anymore. Like it was so cold. And we just hooked up, and that was it. And I fought for a long time. I fought it for a long time. Eventually we got it in, and that was it.
She
Just
forgot to note that it was 37 inches.
Wow.
So
Were you on a boat?
No, we were on the jetties, and it was only me and her out there. So yeah.
And was that your first time fishing, or you had been out there
no,
several
that
times?
was my first time on a bull red.
Okay.
Like
What
my
about?
big fish?
Do you remember your first time fishing?
My first time.
Can I tell them how
fishing.
you thought the red
Oh no.
She caught a rat red, and she was, we're still learning, right? We're still new to this, and she asked me, "Is this the whiting with a spot?"
Yes. It looks like-
Yes, you can call it that if you
I was
want.
like,
Put it
they
in the
actually
cooler.
do look like whiting. They have the body, but no, that's a red. Like,
That
that's
was
your
a
first
long
red.
time ago.
Yeah, it was a long
You've
time
caught
ago.
plenty of fish since then.
Yeah.
But so do you remember your first time going out there?
My first time,
It's okay if you don't.
honestly I don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
I think no. The first time it was actually in our backyard in Arisaka.
Okay.
And
That's right. That's right.
We caught catfish.
yeah,
remember?
we caught some blue catfish and on fish bites. I was like, well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
these things work,
Just
right?
go throw it in there, see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was awesome. I love fishing so much.
I
It
mean,
was
you've
the
been
best.
fishing for 2 years
Yeah.
per se, and how long have you been fishing?
It's roughly the same.
About the same.
But you guys really got into it because you just told me that she's actually building rods.
Yeah.
And
It's
she
all
just
about
started
that.
fishing for 2 years,
I
and now
worked
you're
at
already
Hook,
building
Line, and
rods.
Sinker.
Wow.
Yeah,
Never
I
built a
first
rod.
started there about a year ago or so. Yeah, about a year ago, and I started repairing rods. And then eventually, Mike, which is the rod builder there,
Yeah.
he just taught me more about building custom rods, and I really enjoyed it, and so I've started building that skill, and it's my favorite thing to do. Like it's
Oh.
so relaxing. I just love creating things. Like it's
We have a table
Awesome.
back there. You can. You're welcome
Go
to
at
come
it,
build
show
rods
us.
whenever you want. I'll just leave everything back for you back there.
I'm just trying to figure out because it seems like you two are not your normal women, in the sense that not everybody can just a year later actually get hired to build rods. I mean, it's not a normal thing
I
for that to
think it
occur.
really and so that's one thing too. Like, I don't think it matters if you're like a male or a woman. Like, you find something you love to
Yeah,
do,
but-
and you just like instantly hooked on it, right?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
So-
getting at.
And getting a 29 and a 37 don't hurt.
Yeah,
you.
I mean, they help
that
you.
would
I mean,
get me
I
hooked
have-
up pretty
And
quick.
what is it called? 7-day
Yeah,
addiction.
addiction.
Yeah.
There
So,
it is.
I mean, I have buddies that are guys, and like I've said the story plenty of times, and they grew up not fishing at all. And one summer out here, they come out and no fish, and they just enjoyed everything else about it, right? Like, oh man, this is awesome. And now they come out every year, and some of them consider themselves serious anglers, but they're not. But yeah, so definitely. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at it like just kind of. I'm looking back again, looking back at the women in my life and kind of like what guys are doing or like what we can do to kind of get them out there. And I think a lot of it comes from like my wife's like, well, I'm going out there to make you happy, but it's not really going to make me happy. But I wonder if having that mindset, you're kind of setting yourself, you're setting the expectations already, right? You're kind of framing it before you
Yeah.
even got out there.
Yeah.
That you're kind of, I don't want to say closed-minded, but you're going with this perception, or that it's about.
They're making me go.
Yeah, they're making me
Yeah.
go,
Instead of going.
and even if you go and have a good time, right? It's like,
I think one of the problems that as men that we have, when I take my wife, I'm selfish. What I mean by that is I want to fish, and I think that's one thing she doesn't like is I say, hey, let's go fishing. We'll take the kids and we'll take you, but she's got to take care of the kids because I'm gonna fish. I think that's one of the reasons they might not want to
Yeah.
go with us,
Right.
Sam. Is we
So that first time you went, or you was with a fishing guide, huh?
Yes.
Okay, maybe that's what you got to do.
go with a guy.
Yeah,
It's too
Like-
expensive. Huh?
I know it's expensive, but I mean it's
I can put her on fish. I just rather fish myself.
no, but no, it's like what you just said right now. Like, you go in and your mindset's about you, right? And you're it's all about you.
I see
It's
what you
about
mean.
making happy. If you go with a guide, I mean, the guide's trying to make sure everybody.
Yeah,
you
I don't
know,
got to worry about driving the boat.
Yeah,
I
he's
going
going to take care of it,
Yeah,
whatever. And there's
that's
plenty of
true.
good guides out there, especially some of the guys that cater to, and I'm not saying women are kids, but inexperienced type fishermen that are getting out there that,
Or
hey,
women captains. We've got Lucy and Captain Ruby Delgado that are women captains in the South Padre Arroyo area. I mean, they're great.
Yep.
We get people on fish all the time.
yeah, so yeah, that's another thing, right? So you get out with a guide, a male or a female, or in this case, a female that can cater to
We have
women
a
out
great
there.
time on the boat.
Yeah.
We don't need men.
So how big is the women fishing community
It's
here?
huge, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
it's huge. There's one of my favorite Facebook groups is called Women Fishing. There's over 20,000 members on it.
And that's here, like,
That's nationwide.
Okay,
that's
sorry.
that's a huge group. So there's fresh, there's salt, there's fly, there's spinning. Everything is on there. But we limit. It's a private group, like no men allowed. And we even have a secret sign where we go like this in our pictures.
Oh, you just shared our secret with your
Yeah.
secret
Yeah,
sign.
so it's a secret
sign.
You just embarked.
Hand me the wig.
Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah, they just
Dang, I
you
forgot
just
it.
got
Yeah.
deleted from the group.
That's right.
We have 19,999.
Yeah.
What's crazy is actually a lot of women talk about how their men don't want to go fishing. and that they're the ones that go and fish. So we're definitely out there. We're growing for sure. I mean, there's over 20,000 members right now.
Yeah,
That's great.
And we talk about, like, how do we get our men fishing? Like, oh, like, we bribe them with beer, like, you know, like, come on, let's go.
It's the same way that the men have to get women out there, right? Again, it doesn't matter who if you're a male or female. It's getting someone else out there to get out there, and they may not have the same passion.
Yeah.
And a lot of it just perspective, right? Just because they've never done it, right, or they haven't done it the way you do. And kind of what Victor was saying was that there's steps. It's not like you jump off. You don't just jump off the high board, your first time you jump in the water, which is like, and Victor's used to doing that, right? So when he goes out with his wife, he's going to do, we're going to do it this way. And this, Victor's been fishing for a long time, but there's steps to it. And I think a lot of times, men, we can get selfish about it. And we just like, well, it's about me. And next week, it's going to be about her. And so because of that, it's going to be about me. And we're going to do this, and we're going to go wade fish. And she's going to stay in the boat while I'm waiting. And then she's not going to catch anything because I don't want to,
Yeah, one time I took my wife and I limited out on trout. She didn't want to get off the boat, so I got off. I waited close to her. I got my trout. And I said, we're going to move somewhere else and look for reds. And I said, look, I see some reds over here. It's going to be pretty good to get off with me. She didn't want to. I landed red after red after red after red, and I was like, come on, get off with me. And I could not get her to get off. And that was the day to me that if she would have gotten off, she would have landed that big red that would have pushed her to say, hey, okay, I want to go. Not, I guess I'll go.
Yeah. Now, did it take a convincing for you? Because, I mean, that's the main thing. The reason you're here is because of the wade fishing part.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that not a lot of people do. Now, did it take a while for you to finally get off the boat, or is that something you just did because?
No, I mean, this is really funny, but I like to see the little creatures in the water. Like, I saw in the flats, we'd walk around and like
the sharks,
flounder gig, as in like, not look at flounder, but you'd find the little hermit crabs, you'd find the little sea life in the water, and I always thought that was really neat, like coming into the water. And we did some paddle boarding a few years ago, and it was really neat being out on the water. So when I started learning about wade fishing, it was like, well, I mean, that's great. I mean, I'll just see the sea life, and then later I started learning, okay, so the wade fishing. You're more in tune with what's happening with the fish, with the habitat, what the ground is like. Is there grass? Is there mud? So that kind of came later, but at the beginning it sounded fun to me.
Yeah. So who helped you kind of evolve as a fisherman? So was it you just kind of going out by yourself looking for stuff?
I don't think anyone can learn anything completely by themselves. No, the fishing community, I've met so many amazing people in the fishing. Some of the people I talk to every day.
So how do you meet people in the fishing community?
For me, I've met people by going to the same place all the time. So I mostly jetty fish right now. Okay. And I would go to the jetties over and over and over again. And I would see the same people. So pretty soon, like, you land their fish, they land your, it's just like constant camaraderie, hey, do you have a lure? Do you have this or whatever? And eventually you just become friends with them, and then they have your back. Like, they have your back. And then also another avenue that we didn't have a long time ago that we have now is social media. I mean, the groups are everywhere. There's local groups, there's worldwide groups, there's nationwide groups, state groups, coastal groups. So getting on there, posting, asking questions, interacting with other members, and pretty soon you just I have friends all over the coast now. I mean, of people that I've met, including Fabian, met through Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was about to say that. That's the way I kind of met her. I want to say I got a message about you wearing the gear or something like that. I think there's this, well, not the picture there, but the picture in the ad where you're holding a king?
Yes.
I think you're holding a kingfish. And it was a pretty cool, exactly. So it was a pretty cool picture, to see. And then we finally met at Rockport at one of the fishing expos. She introduced herself, and
y'all live here, man, in Rockport.
Yeah. Well, she thought I was from Corpus.
Yeah. I did.
And I think you were following Gunner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Captain
so
Gunner.
you met Gunner over there. So I think just again, social media does definitely help. Dottie Wheat, one of our girls. Yep. Mentioned, about you and talked about you and so forth. So I think social media is definitely going to be that avenue where you're going to meet these people that you want to meet, to kind of help you in your craft.
Anglers or other experts in the field, or just even people just to go with,
So what kind of girl were you before fishing? I mean, so were you? And I'm saying that to say that in the context of saying, like, were you naturally like outdoorsy, and like, did you like that kind of stuff? And fishing was.
Did. Yeah, I used to raise livestock. I was an avid 4-H member.
Okay.
And so competed at the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show. She still does. She she raises animals and in 4-H as well. So I guess I have always had that inclination.
I'm curious as to how much it kind of that plays into that, the psychology of it, if you will. Kind of being exposed to different things as a kid, being exposed to the outdoors, whether it's on a limited scale or on a larger scale. But you know, kind of just, hey, it's okay to get dirty. It's okay to, you know, do this. It's okay. You can still be a princess with dirt in your nails, right? And that's kind of the mindset I'm trying to get in my daughter, and I think we should, right? But I think that has a big factor specifically in women, because like I look at my wife, and she wasn't like, you know, she didn't do stuff like that, right? And so and
got fish slime now.
yeah, it's like that's like, oh, okay, but you know, but growing
Does
up,
anyone like fish slime?
I do.
Really?
I touch trout and I'm like, oh, fish slime. Fish slime.
but yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. But okay, so you grew up in the outdoors. I imagine you and all your sisters did,
Yeah.
and so fishing was an eventually you guys were going to cross paths.
yeah,
One
it
of
was-
you
it was-
guys,
it was
and
gonna-
it was you guys were on this collision course.
Did
It
your
was destiny.
parents fish?
No, I mean, way back when, but I mean, once they had, because I have three sisters, so I mean, once they had us, like my parents were busy and they just did it.
Okay, so they never took you out. Say,
So it's all girls?
fishing.
Yeah, I have three other sisters, or two other sisters.
Ah.
And they all fish?
Yes,
all
yeah,
of
we all go out. Yeah, we tear it up.
Yeah. so here locally in the valley. So let's say you have girls. Well, I guess we'll start with two different types of girls. Let's say the first type of girl is, you know, has a similar type of background. You know, she likes the outdoors naturally, and she just hasn't been out on the water. You know, what are some? And maybe she's thought about it. Maybe she has some ideas about it. That this seems like it would be fun. Like, how does she kind of take the next step?
It's a great question. And I think it comes down to go to your local tackle shops, because those are the people that know what's working. And I've actually met people through my tackle shop. Be like, oh, hey, you know, there was a woman called Ruby. It's like, Ruby's about your age. She loves to fish, but she doesn't always have someone to go with, which is like my case too. And let's go out. Let's go to the pier Wednesday night. We did. We met, and then we went fishing afterwards. Go to your local tackle shop, make friends, ask questions. And, you know, just go out there and say, like, hey, I want to get into this, but I don't know how. And, I mean, they'll give you the steps needed to get going. The right gear and meeting other people.
Is there a local Facebook page that y'all have, that anybody has put together for women, but local? Something that
Local?
stays local.
I kind of started one, but I haven't launched it yet.
So what does kind of started mean?
I don't think so. I mean, there's the big one, but I don't think there's that I know of a local women's.
I think that's one of the things that I think women need to get more
Yeah,
involved
I
with, because,
agree.
man, there's a bunch of them.
There's
Right.
almost too many.
There's too many.
Yeah, right?
Really.
And like, there's women that we see post once in a while, but you know, the industry is gonna grow the way that we know that it can grow. They also have to get involved.
Yeah.
You know, put in their
Local.
pictures, you know, and stuff like that, and just showing people that, hey, you can have a good time whether you're a male or a female.
Mhm.
Fishing doesn't discriminate. You know?
No, it
You
doesn't.
go out, have a good time, catch fish or don't catch fish.
Right.
Now,
Whether you're a
what
man
is
or a
that
woman.
page that you want to start? I mean,
Well, my hashtag has been Fish Like a Girl, and I've kind of launched that when I first started fishing. And so I created a Facebook group called Fish Like a Girl. I haven't made it anything yet. I kind of have it in the back of my mind. I'd like to grow it, because I do believe we need to fish like girls, right? Yeah.
I think that's one big reason that I think Sam and I even had the conversation to bring y'all on, is because, I mean, I was really intrigued in that event that y'all had, you know, of just women. I mean, obviously there were some men captains that took you out there on the boats, or whatever it was.
Well, let's talk about that event, though.
But yeah,
What's up, man?
So what is?
I was jealous. I
what
didn't
you guys do?
invite me.
So just so everyone knows, we're not kind of waving at the sky. So Monty and his girlfriend just showed up. Well, actually, I'm probably gonna let her come up here and take my spot here.
What's up,
So
Monty?
she, I don't mean to put her on the spot, but I kind of will. But she's kind of said not right now. So
She just started fishing.
but yeah. So
I think she went waiting on her first time fishing.
Yeah, but again, so we were going to talk about just kind of ask some questions around kind of like that type.
I gotta admit something. I don't like her very much.
She outfishes you every
She
time.
outfished me when we went.
Yes.
Yes, she caught reds and then she released them. I was like, really, girl? I haven't caught one, man. I want
Hey,
to see
Victor,
me
you
one.
need. All right, so let's talk about this event that was put on here that was tailored to getting women out on the water.
Yeah, that was Captain Smiley's brainchild over in Arroyo City.
Okay.
And one of the things that he's, talked about is on his heart is he wants to get women in the water. I mean, he wants everyone to get in the water wading. Particularly women are the ones that can be a little hesitant towards wading. So he broadcasted this event and threw the invite out there. And all these women just came in and some of them were experienced, some of them weren't.
So this event was at the Arroyo on the water
Yes.
itself?
Is his
Yes.
wife a captain too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we took a bunch of ladies out there and threw we just threw plastic in top waters, and I mean they were nailing fish, and you could just feel the energy like get pumped as as time went. Once they got confidence being in the water, and once we were moving around, and we caught a lot of fish that day. It's awesome.
I seen the post and I posted if I can go, and they tell me shut me down real quick. No, women only.
Well,
No.
if you would have been
Come
wearing
on,
the
man.
wig you had earlier on
Yeah.
today, they may have let you go too. So
I was like, yeah, I'm down for fishing anytime.
So is that something that y'all want to continue doing?
Absolutely.
Like, I mean,
They wanna
monthly,
do-
yearly?
Yeah, they want to do another event, and we're gearing towards that. Hoping here in the next few months to get the invites out and try to get more women and keep exposing them to this.
I
Because
think
once
that's one
you
of the,
start, like that's it, like you're sold.
that's one of the biggest reasons that we wanted to do this. Again, I think our mindset of doing what we're doing is to kind of raise awareness to certain things that we believe in, and certain things, especially in our community, here in the Valley. And I think when I saw that, I thought that it was a really cool idea. It was something that was really going well. And I kind of tied it into Dottie Wheat. Again, she wanted to hold kind of the same idea, but with kayak fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted to kind of do that over there. And I don't know if she's done it or not. I know
she does offshore kayaking too, right?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, everything.
Everything. So I always thought that was a pretty cool idea to kind of just, raise that awareness, because honestly, I didn't know about it. And if it hadn't been for me being a friend with Smiley, I wouldn't have known about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the downfalls. Again, like you said, I think that group with women, even though, and obviously you do have a certain focus of keeping the women on there, but I think it just needs to be more exposed, of what you all are doing. And don't get me wrong, I think a lot of women are hesitant, because I've seen certain groups where a pretty girl will post a picture with a fish, and it's more heckling than it is, complimenting the fish. And I see that
That's
hesitation.
just Facebook.
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
that's a lot of
No matter
Facebook. So
what
that's
it is.
that's the internet.
So I just think, but you all, I think, need to have that fearlessness of saying, you know what, I don't care what I get out of it, but I think it needs to be shown, saying, okay, we're fishing, we're doing these events, because that's how everybody else gets it out there,
Right.
And I think it needs to be the same for y'all, because that was an amazing event. That was a great deal. It was a great thing Smiley put on. I didn't know it was Smiley, honestly. I saw him share it, but I didn't know it was his idea. It was really, really cool. I mean,
Y'all tore it up.
We did.
Yeah, so shout out
It's a heavy
to
stringer.
Captain Smiley. So for definitely getting this kick started, and it seems like just kind of get that wheel or the kind of the rock rolling down the hill there. And now it sounds like the girls are ready to take it to the next step, right? So they just needed someone to kind of smudge them in that direction, and now they're doing that. So
There's a gentleman that I met up at the well, I didn't meet him there. We happened to be fishing, and we came in the same time. Raymond DeBrook, and he was with his wife, and he had put a video earlier about the week how him and his wife go fishing together, and they compete, and she always beats him.
Right.
yeah,
She
I think
always
that's
catches
intentional. It's
more
just like happy wife,
him.
happy life.
Wow.
So he's like,
"Oh, I think
Okay,
he tries to
I
beat
just,
her."
that's a joke. Sorry.
He tries to beat her, and he just says like, "Man, every time we go, she just catches more than I do."
Well, I
But
mean,
I thought
to
it
me,
was
it's
I thought it was
statistical.
neat.
Women are better shooters. We got that precision, so obviously we're going to be better fishermen. I mean, that's just kind of obvious.
You just got to get out
Y'all
there.
just need to get on the train.
Yeah,
Get
but
used to the
so
idea.
I was looking something up here, and so just read this really quick. So this is I just Googled 10 benefits of fishing, right? And so it's full body strength, which I guess if you're wade fishing, you can get out there. The big one, family bonding. I mean, that's
Yes.
really where my passion from fishing comes from, is from the relationships that I've developed with my family. Immune system, I guess that ties up just vitamin C, being out in the sun, relaxation, cardiovascular health, self-reliance, patience, some travel and enjoying the outdoors, and then none of these are tied to any specific sex, right? So these apply to both male and female. So the benefits are there. So it's just get out there and enjoy them. I see Victor's excited to say something.
It's because I tell my wife and my kids, I always get sick. I don't get sick, and I was like, it's because I go fishing, and they don't believe me. I said,
It's because you lick your fingers after the fly.
That's right.
And then, or it's the garlic. It's either the garlic or the fish line that's on your fingers.
I go out there and I tell her all the time that
I can see that garlic starting to affect your hands, though.
I tell her all the time. I was like, it's because I go fishing and I get all this slime on me and I'm catching all this, grabbing all this fish and just going out there. Of course, she never believes in me, but hey, now I got something to show her. So I'm excited.
It's
Babe, I
something
hope you're watching this, because now you know I'm not lying. Google says that it's true.
Google says that it's true. So definitely there's a lot of benefits, and the benefits don't matter if you're a male or female to get out there on the water, and that's really the big thing. Just get out there and enjoy yourself. So so of a woman, so she wants to get into it. So one idea is to kind of reach out, go to a fishing tackle. But reality is, I guess, I mean, my wife wanted to get interested. She wouldn't know like what tackle shop is, I guess, right? Whatever. So let's talk about kind of some of the social media people out there that you mentioned a few people out there, but it's people that can point you in the right direction for women that are out to get out fishing.
To look for local tackle shops, or what do you mean?
Or just like a girl, whether she's whatever she's like, who are other people specifically by name that they can reach out to here in the South or in the Valley?
In the Rio Grande Valley?
Yeah.
Oh, can you think of anybody?
Well, we talked about Ruby.
Yes, Ruby
We talked
Delgado,
about
Captain
Lucy.
Lucy.
Captain Lucy.
Yep, of course, Smiley.
Okay.
I think it's important for that page that you said you wanted to
I think so too.
do,
That's kind of where I was
because,
getting at too.
You know, we as me, I post. I'm going fishing, and I post it on Fishaholics,
everywhere.
Yes.
and I'll be like, hey, I'm going fishing. I'm by myself. Anybody wants to go?
Right.
You know, it's an open invite.
Mhm.
That's how you meet people. That's how I met this guys right here. You know, just by putting something out there,
Yeah.
and now I fish with them all the time.
Right.
Yeah. Now he can't
Yeah.
get rid of you.
Now he can't get rid of me.
you know,
Right.
he
but
talks
having-
about fish having patterns and whatever. So Monty has his patterns as well too.
So by y'all having something that y'all can
Mhm.
put together and say, look, if you're looking for somewhere to go fishing or want to go fishing with a girl, like we're here.
Right.
You know, we are here. We're
just-
not.
Yeah, even like I think it even starts like before that, right? So like if you start putting stuff out there, and then girls that may not really know that they want to go out there, they're like, hey, like these are girls and they're going out there and they're having
having a
fun,
good
and like I was
time.
like, oh, and then now let me take the next step, right? So kind of put it in their head without them kind of like actively wanting to go out there and look for it. I think.
And we sell pink rods. Just
Yeah,
saying.
so
That's right. My rod's pink. So.
yeah, but what I mean, you don't have to be. I know guys that fish pink rods too. So
If anything, okay,
I'll
would you
fish
agree
anything.
that men do pink rods more than
Oh
girls?
yes. Oh
yeah,
yes.
they stand out. They're bright. They're neat. I get it. So there's just not. I don't think.
Remember we talked about comfort? Yeah,
Yeah.
We want comfort, but we also want to be like, show up, like, look at my pink rod.
Yeah,
It's
you can see them from far away.
This
so.
guy's got white pants with like glitter on them and stuff when we go fishing. And it's like, bro, you a lure? It's like, fish just come to him.
So the other thing that I remember seeing this was the sportsmen actually did some events as well too, tailored to women. I think Captain Wayne Davis, he had some events out at the and they were tailored to specifically women. Actually, we'll be talking to Captain Davis here pretty soon.
That's true. I
next
think
week.
they had a raffle of a trip, and it was for women. I think
Yeah,
so.
but they actually had like classes there, like at the sportsman, where they were trying to get out there and showing them how to work lures, and he was talking about different things as well too. Just kind of again trying to create some awareness and encourage them and showing hey, it's not what it made out to be. I mean, fishing can be so many different things. It's even we've all been fishing, and fishing could be fishing on the jetties, it could be wade fishing, it could be camping out, getting drunk on a boat somewhere. It can be whatever you want it to be, right?
Yeah.
And that's personally why I like fishing so much. It's like whatever you're
Take
in
it
the
at your
mood for,
speed.
you just do whatever you
Yeah.
want. And so
And I think the way you're doing it in regards to fishing on the jetties, because again, not everybody has a boat. So finding that way to do it where you don't take the plunge and go buy a boat your first time, but I think you got hooked really, doing it on the jetties, and from there you took it to
Right.
another
Now I
level,
have a
to another
kayak,
aspect.
Now I'm
Exactly.
wade fishing, so now I'm just kind of branching out. But yeah,
So I
started
think
on
just
the
even
jetty.
just in, I think even just inviting women to like a pier,
Yeah.
would probably be
Absolutely.
a good thing. To
Yeah.
my only thing with that, and again, it might be discouraging because you may not catch a lot.
Can't move, right.
Again, so those are certain things that you can think about. But
To
I
me,
think just
pier
the main
fishing is
awareness.
social. Like you're there to hang out, talk to people.
Correct.
You cast. You can't really go anywhere.
Pier,
You just
you
go to
said
hang
pier
out.
fishing?
Yeah, pier fishing is like a social thing.
Yeah.
So I go pier fishing like once a week and just go see my buds. But like the intensity, you got to be more out in the water.
Yeah. Anytime fishing is a good time.
Absolutely.
yeah. So I'm just kind of going through some of the comments here, and so unfortunately, like we're not getting our comments here on the screen. So I'm just kind of trying to see if I've got any questions, and everyone's talking about just and I don't know why some of you guys are saying. Let's see here. So the same rules that we talked about, wherever you want to start, apply to anyone. And so, chunking bait are good places for starting. Working the pier. A lot of girls don't know what they're missing out on.
Yes.
So
that is a fact.
so it's kind of just perspective and exposure, getting them out there. So
They don't know what they're missing.
yeah,
Yeah.
Anyone that doesn't fish, they just don't know what they're missing.
yeah.
So we were talking about like you guys are married, right?
Yep.
So I have a really good girlfriend who I've actually known her for over a decade. But I became friends with her through fishing. We've bonded through fishing. We've gone fishing. We just fished Babes on Baffin a few weeks ago together.
And so okay, we'll come back to that. Right?
Okay. And we were surf fishing at Matagorda for sharks. And anyone who surf fishes, they know it's hot. It's just everything is just sandy and dirty. But we were there, and we were just there's nothing else better to do than sit around and wait, right? So we were talking, and I was asking her like, what got you into fishing? She knows my backstory and how I kind of was trying to rebuild my identity and get into something. And I asked her what got her into fishing, because she's actually from Sweden, and she had never fished before. And her husband would go fishing all the time without her. And they had found themselves with a really rocky part in their marriage where they just woke up and were like, done. Like, I just don't love you anymore. I mean,
it's tough, yeah.
That was at their point in their marriage, and they started fishing. And now they go out there and they can't keep their hands off each other. It's a little gross. But she says fishing saved my marriage. Like, she will flat out say that, because it was something that they could do together. And it took him taking her out, because he would go by himself all the time.
So he wouldn't invite. He would just go.
He would just go with his friends, right? Because that's what males do. They go out with their buddies. But it was through, the rocky part in the marriage that brought her out. And now she outfishes him, like easy. Like, her and I, we go out. And she loves to wait, too. But we go out and
now does she go fishing with her husband now?
Well,
so
he needs to take care of the boat, make sure that's all taken care of. We need to go fish.
Yeah. So outside of, when you're not fishing, I mean, do you, excuse me, I'm not trying to like make stereotypes or whatever, but do you live like do you like girly things like outside, like the mall, I guess we were talking about earlier, or do you kind of like tailor to kind of?
Do we include tackle shops into shopping?
Yeah.
Academy.
No, I'm just asking. I'm trying to see, like, I'm trying to get is like, can girls kind of be both?
We just kind of make our own brand. Like, I don't want to say, oh, I don't like shopping, or we do our own thing, and okay, yeah, I enjoy shopping. I'd prefer to go shopping at Academy, but going clothes shopping is cool. But I would prefer to go fishing. What about you?
Yeah, I think about the same. I mean, we just do what we love and try not to put a label on it,
Yeah. No, that's absolutely right. So it seems like really a lot of it is on us, right? So we talked about different experiences. Like we take women fishing, so with your wives, first of all, get them out on the water, expose them, kind of walk them through the different steps.
Fishing gear.
Buy them cute fishing gear. That's always. We got plenty of cute.
But you can't buy too cute fishing gear, because then you don't fish.
Yeah, so getting them out there on the water is the first thing, kind of understanding that, hey, that this is going to be different. It's not about me. It's about me and my wife bonding and spending that time, or girlfriend or whoever it is.
Investing the time.
Yeah, I think the other thing that really kind of resonates is the kind of like if for guys who have daughters and kind of get them exposed to fishing and the outdoors and early on, so that they can have that kind of. So touching a fish isn't gross.
A selfie with a fish is just way better.
Yeah, I think I'll go back to the whole. I see you're going in the direction of, can
can you do it all?
Can a girly girl become a fisherman?
Absolutely.
But my thing is, I'm looking at yours, and you guys are ranchers in a sense. You're ropers. You're rodeo people.
Yeah.
That's and at the end of the day, yes, they're girls, they're women, they have their but it's a different woman. I mean, just like if a rodeo guy is a different guy,
right?
It's just another world, and it's another exactly. So my thing is I want to see somebody or know of somebody who isn't that.
She's right there.
And I'm actually kind of leaning that way.
We're just kind of throwing a few hooks out there.
Because is it that way? Do you have to have the background of because I can see my daughter fishing in the future. But my daughter rides my tractor and she'll go and then pull a head off of a dove. So it's eventual that she's going to start doing it.
Right.
But I also have other nieces that I don't see it. I don't see that it can happen.
You just need to drag them out there.
Again, that could be it.
But you can say the same thing about guys, right?
Yeah,
like
me,
Victor.
I fish because my dad took me out and dragged me out, and showed me about fishing, and I like it. And I take my son and I take my daughter and I invite my wife, and that's what I want them to do. And I think you're trying to say more like can a city girl,
in a sense, I guess, if you want to call it that.
And
I guess I'm just resisting the labels a little.
Yeah, no, I think
Like,
you're right.
I'm
Yeah,
just
maybe
I'm
that's
gonna
just
give a little pushback and just say, like, let's just not put labels. Let's not put boxes. Anyone can get out there and enjoy it. You know, just drag them out there and see what happens.
So it's just the experience, getting out there and trying it at one time.
So you drag them out there and they don't like it, then that's it.
That's their choice.
SPF lipstick that has a tint on it. You know,
well, it seems like you're putting people in a box now.
Yeah.
You're putting people back in the box. You're taking them out. So just get them out there. If they're either gonna like it, it sounds like you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it, and it takes maybe.
Or there's also different levels of fishing, right? Like there's the people that go out, they just want to go sit at the pier on the water, throw, and maybe drink some beers, and then there's the people that want to go out there and wait for 12 hours. Yeah. And kill themselves over it, and there's all those levels in between. So maybe finding those, the matching people to the right, level.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. I mean, so like, so we talked about my wife, but like, to even talk about like my parents, right? So my dad liked to fish growing up. My mom didn't really like to fish, but we would go out to the pier, and my mom likes to eat fish, right? So she knew like, and my mom knew that we'd like to go fishing, so she would say, "All right, we're gonna go to the pier. Okay, I'll go with you guys to the pier." And it was those times where we used to be able to fill up these igloos with all those sand trout or whatever, and just like, okay, we're gonna have a big fish fry afterwards.
And what's crazy about, like, my wife loves camping, so we can go camping and we go in the river and get in the water. But when it comes to fishing, it's not the same. She doesn't have the same passion for it, as I do for camping and fishing. But if it's just camping,
and that's okay, right? It's just it's just people have different passions and people have different things, and so
and again, I could go back to being me, that I'm selfish. I'm going out there, like if I'm going fishing, instead of saying, hey, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna let her fish,
right?
And that's just like, I see her there, and then I'll throw and I'll catch her fish, and it's over. Like, okay, I'm gonna fish. I need to maybe just put the rod down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put the rod down and just let her fish.
Whenever I take people fishing, I kind of in my mind, when I'm by myself, I'm serious. Like, I'm there to catch fish, right? When I take people fishing, like, my mentality is, I want to get people on fish. I want to help them tie their knots, move stuff around, whatever needs to happen, catch bait, throw lures, whatever we're doing. And that's how my mentality is. When by myself, I can be serious. But when I take people out, I'm willing to put my rod down and just work on getting those people some fish.
And that goes back to the idea. I mean, I think you do need to start that page. I think you do need to start something, because not everyone's going to do that. Even women. I mean, I've met some women who aren't going to help anybody because they want to fish. They're addicted to it, and they just want to go fish. They don't want to have to hassle with anyone who doesn't know how to do it.
Right.
So a lot of those people aren't out there. And a lot of women, and I don't blame them, don't want to go out with a guy they don't know. We could post and say, hey, I'm going fishing tomorrow. Whoever wants to join me.
Yeah, especially
and feel comfortable.
Exactly.
Exactly. So a woman really can't do that, for no other reason than obviously a danger factor. But I think having somebody that has a page like you, hey, you know what? Let's bring it all on.
Right.
I think you gotta be comfortable, even if you're a guy. Like, there's people that, like, for example, me, that I post. Like, I'm pretty sure a bunch of guys are not like, oh, let me go with this guy. Be like, wants to go fishing. I had a bug. I was just but you have to be comfortable with where you're going. And I feel the same way as you. When I go fishing and it depends on who I'm fishing with. So if I invite people fishing that they don't fish that much, then yes, I do kind of want to help them out and get them going. But if I'm going with somebody that fishes, like, we're gonna fish. Like, you're gonna have to tie your own knots, bro.
Yes.
Like, I'm not tying any knots for you. Except if you're Sam, I'll tie your knots, Sam.
Take my fish off the hook.
Yeah. Victor does that. Victor ties my knots. My knots fall off.
It's like, man, I lost 3 fish already. Yes or not? No, it's not. Here you go, Sam.
Got him.
Another fish got him. I was like,
no. I say got you. You tied my knot, bro.
That's how I wanted, right?
It took 3 fish, but I got
my knot, my hook, my swivel, everything.
I almost lost the rods. That was the next step. But
comfort is a big step.
Yeah,
a big part. So talk about comfort. When you started wading, did you feel comfortable at the very beginning?
It was awkward. Yeah. I had to figure out. I want to be able to take pictures when I'm out there. I love fish photography, and my phone was like an issue for me. Like, I had to.
You gotta get a GoPro, girl.
I know, that's the next thing. But it's a little awkward at first to get used to it. But then once I figured out like what my flow was, then that was it. Like, I'm good. I know exactly what I need when I'm out there.
So
how about you?
Yeah, probably about the same. I mean, the first time we went wading, I think it was like the first day. I didn't have any wade boots or anything, so I had to borrow some from a friend of mine. And that day We went straight to Academy after fishing. We both bought wade boots, and and after that, we just kept going out.
And not to put anybody in a box, but were they the pink ones?
No, I wish. No,
Okay.
Wading boots are kind of limited.
There's a little
Sam
bit
wants
of...
to buy
If they
some.
existed, I would have bought them.
So I think it goes back to the point that, I mean, I think a lot of women have that mentality is like, oh, they're fishermen, you know, they're not, they're butch or whatever word you want to use, like manly or whatever. But again, it goes back to what you said, and I've said that many times, you know, to my daughter. It's like, you can, you know, go ride a tractor but still wear pink.
Absolutely.
You know, and I love that you're saying that, you know, that something, a lot of women are like, oh no, we don't just like pink. But I like the fact that you're saying like, yeah, you know, I am
I like the color. Don't tell me I can't like it. It's a pretty
exactly.
color.
And I think it's just that perception where if you're doing, you know, quote unquote manly things, if you want to call it, you have to have that that you know, persona, or you have to have that image.
Right.
And y'all don't. I mean, you don't. You know, I mean, I would never guess you're a fisherman. And again, that's the perception that I am having, and that's, I think, why I wanted to do this, because I think that perception needs to be broken.
Yes.
You know, where
absolutely.
you can be an attractive woman, you can be a girly woman, you know, get manicures or whatever, and still go out there and fish and hunt and do whatever.
Next time when you get your manicures, they're just taking all the fish slime out of them. Right?
I will on the women fishing group, women share photos of their manicures where they get like rainbow trout manicures or like a red dot.
So you can do it both, right? It's
manicures
the
and do
it's kinda-
fishing. But you know, this actually a shout out to my mom, because growing up I struggled with that a little bit, where I was like, well, I can't like pink, I can't like turquoise, I can't do glitter because, you know, I'm a tomboy, right? I identified as a tomboy. And my mom always told me growing up was, don't let people put you in a box. Surprise them. Wear a dress one day, then wear your boots the next day. Because I had a pair of cowboy boots that I loved. Never wanted to take them off. My mom was like, you cannot wear cowboy boots all the time. Like, sometimes you got to do something
You
different.
can't play soccer.
And she would tell me, like, just surprise them. Like, don't let people put you in a specific box. And so, you know, one day you might see me in a dress. Yeah. Most of the time you probably won't, but every now and then you will. And just don't let people identify who you are. Just
or not even like, exactly, right? Just like, you're not surprising them for the sake of surprising them. You're surprising them because it's what you love to do, right?
Exactly.
You like it's you, it's who you are, right? It's just like, this is a part of me, and this is the other part of me, and this is the other part of me. I'm not and these three parts don't have to match up to whatever box or whatever stereotype that you know. It's this is who I am. So, absolutely. So, I do want to talk. So you mentioned Babes on the Bay, and so
Babes on Baffin.
Or Babes on Let's talk about that. What is that?
That was a fishing tournament that I did a few weeks ago. It was an all women's fishing tournament, and we.
It's an annual fishing tournament.
Yes, and there is Babes on a Bay as well. That's in the springtime. So
in Corpus, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably fish that one as well. And of course, we have our local Lady Kingfish tournament.
Is that the one you did? Is it all surf?
No, that was it was boat. Yeah, so we went out and we took a guide took us, and we caught 28 and like an 8. And so it's just
it's an all girls. It's an all girls.
But it is an all girls fishing
but
tournament.
y'all have a male.
You're
guide.
allowed to have one guide on the boat, but no other males. So
they should make it all women.
I mean, it's, you know, there's not as many women.
I think it has to get there. It has to get to that captain where
women to be.
But yeah, you can have your guide can be male, but that's it. There's no other males allowed on your boat. So and it was great. Two women didn't have waders, so they drifted. And then my friend and I, we waded out in the water. We got waded because it was cold. It was a rough day.
I remember that day.
Yeah, we went out and took our waders out.
I think Matagorda, I mean, a lot of these, is there one other than the Lady Kingfish? Is there another one here that has just an all-woman's?
Not that I can think of.
Like, I know Matagorda has another one that we help out a lot with, Lingerie on the Bay.
Yes.
Amy Forrester did that for us.
Lingerie on the Bay?
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Nice.
Relax. But again, it's an all-women's thing. One of our guides takes his wife, and there's some women out there. But I think, again, going back to the fact of, like, it's frustrating to see that the Valley's not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we need to get there, and we need to do those things to bring people. When you have somebody like you going all the way to Matagorda to fish these tournaments, I mean, I think we're losing that publicity that we can have.
Here, but don't tell the people in Matagorda.
Oh, that's every water.
Yeah. So guys, anyone that's watching, so any questions you may have about women, if you're a woman trying to figure out what you can do, or ask him these specific questions about women, how you might be able to get into fishing, go ahead and add them in the comments below. Any guys that are watching, let us know what your concerns are, or what your thoughts about your opinions are about getting your wife out on the waters, or your girlfriends out there.
Maybe some guys don't take you out because they're afraid to get out fish.
Yeah, that could be
it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I'm pretty convinced that's it.
Could be it. Be like, nah, if I invite them and they outfish me, then I'm gonna look bad.
So how does being a fisherman kind of affect like your personal lives? I mean, like what do guys think like when they talk to you like, hey, like, oh, she's a fisherman, like, oh, like you know, like you're in a different class, or like you're kind of and what do they feel?
It's just, you get all kinds. Like, you get the people that just don't take you seriously. But I mean, if you just talk to me for a little bit, you'll realize pretty quickly. I mean, I do know at least a little bit about this.
They don't take you serious that you fish.
Right. I
Right.
mean, they just assume that it's, you know, kind of a silly thing, or maybe that I'm trying to look cool, I guess. I mean, I don't know. But, you know, we just got to let our brand stand for ourselves, and my pictures speak for themselves that I do know how to fish. And, or you get the really talkative ones that just want to tell you all about their catches. It's like, but look at my catches.
But I want to talk to you.
Yeah, I mean, you get all
We all got
kinds.
pictures. We all got pictures.
Yeah, that's the one thing, especially like when we do these shows, right? These Hunters Expo, the fishing
Right.
shows. You talk to people, and yeah, everyone everyone you talk to, it always ends up with a phone, like scrolling
Yes.
pictures, and
Yeah.
everyone's got them. So
That's what I did to Fabian when I met him. I was like, look at the fish I caught in your
I
shirt.
re- I like to
Remember,
fish.
Fabian?
Yes.
So,
So I do have, I think I have both of y'all on Facebook, and I see
Yeah.
y'all's posts and stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing I like about y'all posting is y'all posting fishing. Like y'all going, showing, hey, you know, we're empowered.
Right.
We can fish. You don't, you know, you can take us, put us, you know, you can take us, and we'll do the rest.
Right.
You know, we have our gear. We don't need you to give us gear, lend us gear. We can go out and fish. But to me, the most important thing is that y'all are showing what it truly is to be out there fishing. I'm talking about, I'm seeing all these other pictures from everywhere, and it's like a girl in a bikini with,
Yeah.
like, dude, you know, I don't even think you fished.
Right.
Like, but you all, I like that. I like seeing women that can say, hey, I'm not just a pretty girl.
Right.
I'm a fisherman.
See, I'm glad you brought that up because
I'm not.
well,
we're talking about boxes and getting
two
people out of the
ways.
boxes. So.
And the reason I say I'm glad they brought that up because again, it goes back to there's not enough of y'all doing it. And the reason I say that is Taylor Garcia. And the only reason I bring her up is she was an ex-student of mine.
Okay.
So I know her personally.
Yeah.
I know who she is.
She's an
I know
awesome
what she
girl.
was about. You know, but a lot of people think, oh, you're just you know, taking pictures, you know, out there in a bikini. That she's always worn bikini. She's always, you know,
It's
that's
brand.
her.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
she
her.
does.
Yeah.
But she can fish
She can fish.
and she can hunt
Yes, she can.
and she can
Fish.
do it all.
All of it.
You
yeah.
know, so
She's got the skills.
but again, men obviously aren't seeing that first.
Right.
But the reason is there's not enough of them out there. You know, there's another girl, Cammie.
Yes,
You know,
Tammy
same
Bates
thing.
from Louisiana.
She's a guide.
Yeah.
You know, but again, I think she came down to as a
Yeah, she did the surf fishing tournament. The Boca Chica
yes.
surf fishing tournament.
you know, and again, a lot of guys, you know, but I think women are afraid to do it because of that reason. That you know, there was another one. She wasn't even wearing anything. She was wearing a regular T-shirt with an amazing bass, and it was on the South Texas Bass Association or whatever, the Mark's page,
Okay.
and. You know, attractive woman, and there's all these guys or whatever, and I think she should say, you know what, I'm getting off of this page or something like that.
This is why we wear these shirts. And, you know. I
But
mean,
it's getting back to that where, I mean, again, I think it's just the fact that not enough people are doing it, not enough women are doing it, and showing that, you know what, we can wear a bikini and fish too.
Right.
You know, I mean, if that's what you're comfortable in,
Right.
and that's what you want to wear, and whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. But again, I think the men right away, and not only men, I think actually women are a lot harder on those women
Yeah,
than men
they
are.
can be pretty
You know,
savage.
because they're saying, well, you're not a fisherman. You're just showing out there so you can get a boyfriend or whatever it may be.
But think about this. She talked at the beginning about being comfortable and waiting,
Right.
you know, using the right gear, using
yeah.
the you
See,
know,
to
the,
me in a bikini, I would not be comfortable.
yeah, it's
So I
like
would
that's
not
for
fish like
to me
that.
that's for you use it for a picture. Like maybe you did fish, maybe
Yeah.
you did catch that fish,
Yeah.
but I want to see the aspect of fishing. You know, if I wanted to see a woman, I mean, I go to the website, I guess, but I want to see women that fish. You know, it's cool. I mean, it's cool seeing somebody going out
Right.
there and saying, "Hey, you know, I'm gonna fish."
I think, you know, you can
I'm
just
gonna
you
take a
can
picture
be both,
with
you
the
know?
fish.
Exactly.
You know, you can just be what your brand and whatever you're comfortable with, just go out and rock it.
So what are your plans then? Is you continue to go out here, or do you plan on guiding it all, or what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. This is just I just love doing it, and these opportunities are opening up, meeting a lot of people. I don't know where it's going.
What are I'm assuming you're open to being a guide and kind of getting out there on the water.
I mean,
and,
maybe I have a career in digital marketing and like my degree's in finance, so I'm kind of a little bit of a closet nerd. But I mean, I'm open to the idea for sure.
Okay.
I know I want to own a boat someday. That I know for sure. Maybe I'll get my guy's license for the tax write-off.
Yeah, so that definitely. I do want to talk about boats one day. Just kind of the cost and the price of
He already convinced me not to buy one. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, ride around with your buddy's boat as long as you
You'll
can.
be depressed. You'll be happy and then depressed and happy.
Every time you see it, you'll be happy, and then when you don't
and
see
you
it,
pass by the shop and you see it with the tower like this, and you're like, oh.
it's just it can be, but a lot of great times on the boat too. So, all right.
But most of your fishing is on boat or wade fishing
That's
or
all of it.
everything.
I mean, we do jetties, wading, pier. I mean, I'm trying to get into kayaking now. I really want to get into yakking. I want to go offshore actually.
Yeah.
With Dottie.
The gentleman that was here earlier, Rudy.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, he does a lot. I used to do a lot of kayaking. Then I bought a boat, so I stopped kayaking. But kayaking is so much fun.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. What do you have?
I have a pescador.
Pescador?
Yeah, from
get a hobie, girl.
Academy.
Get a hobie.
I know.
You can't go wrong with a hobie.
I know.
Do you have a kayak?
No, not right now.
I'm trying really hard.
Yep.
Kayaking is fun. So you've never kayaked?
I have.
Yeah.
I went with one of my friends. So yeah, we've kayaked in the bay, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's super
so much
cool.
fun.
Although she gets out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So she says kayaking is too much fun. I can either kayak or I can fish.
Yep.
But I can't do both at the same
But
time.
if you have a hobie,
well, true. You can
You
stand
have
up
a
on it.
hobie,
That's what I
yeah,
told her. I
you
was like,
can-
you
you
want the
can-
expensive kayak.
yeah, because see, with a hobie, you can be going and you can be fishing.
Yeah,
and you don't have
yeah.
to, stop.
It is kind
and
of
all.
awkward, yeah, sitting down.
Yeah.
That'll
You
be my
definitely
next
have to hook
kayak.
up with Dottie. I think she'd be the one person to
that
go
seems
with.
really
And
cool. Yeah, because I mean, the offshore rigs off of Padre Island National Seashore, they're right there.
yeah,
They're
like what, a
really
mile, not
close.
even?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
go catch some kings and jacks.
And you were in the KOA area, right? KOA, what's it called? The other one?
Pier 19.
Yeah, Pier 19.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Fish Sticks, the convention center.
The convention center. Yeah, I've seen some
Yeah.
pictures of you. Those are good areas. I used to wade those areas, and we're talking about how can we go out there when you're doing it the right way. You're going wading. You're
Mhm.
going somewhere where you can say, I don't need a boat. I
Right.
just need water,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then get out there, start fishing, and
Right.
then you could evolve into say, a captain. Say,
Right.
you know what, I'm gonna be. I don't think you said, you know what, I don't like to fish. I'm gonna be a captain, but I don't like to fish. I
Yeah,
think
no,
that's-
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, don't
Opposite.
think that's logical.
So when is this group that you're kind of talking about that we're kind of cornering you into
I guess
coming
I
out?
just need to go for it.
gotta
Yeah,
do
it seems like you just kind of need to.
Yeah, I need to just make it, and I mean, it's created. I just haven't put pictures on it or anything, so I just need to
Okay.
go and create.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
already on Facebook.
It's on Facebook. You can go
Okay.
like it. Fish like a girl.
Okay, fish like a girl.
Are guys allowed to like it?
I haven't decided yet. We might want to make this kind of exclusive. Keep the guys out.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you keep it separate just so that women can be more
There's lots
open
of
to it
details.
and just kind of talk about different things.
Yeah.
But then with
Before you
face,
take it off, I'm gonna like it.
just get removed
Oh,
out here.
yes,
So.
yes.
Yep, there it is. 2 members.
So Monty's here. Monty likes being on the camera. Monty, why don't you come over here help me out here? So you can talk to us about kind of some of the so how did you go about getting your girlfriend to wade fishing, and what was some of the? I mean, was it like a deal breaker?
This guy literally dragged her.
Oh, I know he literally dragged her, but I really what I want to ask Monty is so what? Let's say she didn't like to fish. I mean, was that going to be a deal breaker?
It's over.
It's over. It's like
Yes.
so it is not wanting to kind of explain your evolution, kind of why you got your girlfriend into fishing and how you went about doing that.
She actually wanted to get into it.
Okay, so
I didn't have to do anything.
so she was already into it. She just didn't know what to do.
she had never done it
Oh, she-
before.
She's not
she
not
just
into
saw
it, but
me
she,
doing
but
it.
she was into she had this idea that maybe she wanted to get out
Yeah.
there and do it. So it seems like there's a lot of girls that could be in that same situation. So I think this
Yeah.
is where this group might come into play, is like kind of help girls take that next step to getting out there on the water as well too, right? So it's crazy, right? Like he's like, hey, she just happened to kind of run across you, who's freaking walks on water and who's the
I
fish
wouldn't put that
whisperer.
on
So, but yeah, so really no struggles or.
I mean, she just brought it up one day. She might want to try it, and it's like, all right. Took her to Mansfield, and I didn't take her out on a boat the first time. We just went and walked the south side of Mansfield. Kind of just showed her how to cast, told her to shuffle her feet and not walk too fast and get ahead of herself. And I spent maybe 20 minutes talking to her about it, and showing her what to do, and then just kind of got out of the way. And she fished for 4 or 5 hours, walking around in the water. Turned around. We fished for like a mile and a half, just walking down.
And had she not brought it up, do you think you would have brought it up eventually, or you just?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I would have. I mean, it's too large of a part of my life to not. It is my life, really.
So for someone that is your life, and do you have to have someone that has that as part of her life, or could you kind of?
What do you mean?
And I don't mean to put anyone on the spot, but had it not been like has she not liked fishing? Would you say is a quote unquote deal breaker? Or
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
over.
no.
It's over. Just
Yeah,
teasing.
I mean, I'm gonna fish
you like bait?
regardless.
It's over.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, don't bring that
I
over
secretly
here.
hope she likes pink cells better.
But yeah, no, she just expressed interest in it. Took her out there, said, "We'll see if you like it." And she liked it. And the next trip, we took her out on the boat, and she was hopping off the boat, and she caught a nice flounder and a couple nice trout. And then the next trip, we went out and caught more trout, and she hadn't caught a redfish yet. And that's when we went out with Victor. And it's like, all right, drop me off over there. And she was a trooper. I mean, we fished for probably 5 hours that day in the water. Caught trout and all kinds of crap, but she wanted a redfish. And so we went up a little shallower behind a spoil bank. And
Don't give area.
Show me on a map.
yeah, no, she actually, I'll text you the coordinates later. But no,
So I can post them right now.
Coordinates in the description.
yeah, right.
And a picture. I need proof.
Yeah, I mean, she was pretty beat up. She was pretty tired. She actually let it slip that she wanted to stay on the boat, and I didn't let her. I was like, come on, one more spot. We got 75 yards, and we're going to get it in here. And, man, like the last 20 minutes before sundown, she popped it. I mean, she watched me catch 3 of them, several trout, and she just, whatever reason, it wasn't happening. We was 10 feet away from me. She kept sticking with it, kept fishing, and that's really, I guess, the key is persistence and just keeping a good attitude about it. And in the end, she was rewarded.
Yep.
And it made me pretty proud.
Absolutely.
And then she also decided to release the fish, putting all that work into it, finally getting it. Not a lot of people are going to be willing to let that fish go. Not saying you have to, but
it's,
it was
what are you
kinda
chasing,
icing
right?
on the
It's
cake.
the experience,
Yeah,
right? It's just kind of
exactly.
being out there and enjoying it, and people fish for different
She
reasons.
wasn't like, I need some redfish on that.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to catch a redfish.
Yeah.
So we went, and that was the goal. She accomplished it, and let the fish go afterwards. She had the respect for the creature, and maybe she'll catch it again at 25, 26, 27, and have a little bit better fight.
So is that like the next thing? Like, so just catching more fish, big fish, or just kind of being out there in general is what you really
That's up
enjoy
to
doing?
her.
Yeah. So
I think that's the beauty of it, though. I mean, you're talking. I mean, and I keep going back to the point of just more and more women need to be out there. But just today alone, you're talking 2, 3, and who was it, Marisol?
yeah, Marisol
That came in. That's already 4 women that
Yeah.
that. That's what I'm saying. That we don't
She
see
was
it.
on the cover of a magazine here just recently.
Was she the one who named
Yeah, she won
the Kelly Wiggler?
Oh,
She
nice.
named it,
That's right.
She was
I
just in
remember
here
her.
right now.
So that's the cool thing, man. It is out there. I just think it needs more exposure. It needs more events like what you were doing. Just to kind of show that. And I think it just needs to go to that level where it's a organized thing where you're having these events monthly, every 2 months or whatever. But I think it needs to be out there. It needs to be shown a lot more than what it is. I mean, I know there is those closed groups, but I think just having that closed group, it does have its pros and cons as well.
Sure.
You have your pros of again, you don't have men in there, but 2, you have the con that you don't have men in there. So I think it goes both ways. So honestly, in my opinion, I think you need to keep it open. That group, I think it'll work. I mean, they can keep it. Where you're monitoring it, and if you have that person just going in there for pictures, get rid of them, whatever it may be.
Just have a set of rules or something on there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So
you can learn a lot from anybody. You watch how they fish.
you're gonna get closer a little bit to the microphone.
They watch.
Here, you want to share mine?
You can sit on your lap.
Sharing. I agree with them. Keeping it open, it's gonna help out. You don't want to make it. You don't want guys to overrun it, so you gotta
Right.
look at that. But we can always learn from each other.
I'll just put a really hard quiz on there that they can't answer.
Well, then yeah. I'm out. Too,
I'm
so.
out. Yeah, I'll take this.
What color is this? Red. No, it's magenta. Damn it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, so any last closing comments for any girls out there that may be watching? That get out there. Any words of encouragement or any tips to kind of get them, nudge them in that direction?
I want to hear from both of you because I think Holly being not only a girl but as young as she is, I think that is awesome also because again, a lot of the younger girls aren't doing it if their dads ain't taking them out. I think they need to hook up with a sister, with a cousin, or whatever it may be, and go out and do it at that young age. Because again, when you do it at an older age, I think you have to catch up.
Right.
Doing it at a younger age, you kind of learn. And by the time you're at the age where you can go out on your own, whatever it may be, you're a lot more knowledgeable.
Right. I mean, family bonding is probably the biggest thing that got me into fishing. I mean, she just dragged me out there and we kept going. But probably the thing that really hooked me on fishing was just the adrenaline rush. Like, there's nothing like feeling a big fish on the end of your line. Like, there's just nothing like that. So I just encourage people, like, you just don't know until you try. So keep going out there. Like, it's just a great experience. Like, fishing is the best.
And I just want to add to add to what you're saying. So, like, the other thing is, like, I think that if I wanted to get my wife out there, and my wife may say she may not like it, but I think it's different if she was out fishing with me versus she was out fishing with y'all. Like, it's going to be different, right? Because when she's out with me, she's going to be all like, oh, like, it's for him, right? Whatever. And then when she goes out with someone like y'all or someone that's not me, then it kind of it's more open minded, right? Like, okay, I'm going to give this a fair shot, if you will, right? So and that's the way you kind of get out there and try it out. So,
how about you, Laurel?
I mean, like she said, you don't really know until you try, until you get out there. There's nothing like the adrenaline rush. For me, it's Kaizen. You can never become an expert at it. There's always something else new to learn, something else new to try, a new species to target, or new personal best. And just going out there, follow people on Facebook, go to your tackle shops, talk to your tackle shop owners, and ask them if they know people that maybe would share common interest. And just go out there and just try it.
Good deal. All right, guys. Well, I definitely appreciate you guys coming out here. I know you guys out of Harlingen?
Los Fresnos.
Los Fresnos, okay.
Yeah.
So how can people find you, or what's going to be the?
You'll find me on my hashtag Fish Like a Girl.
Fish Like a Girl.
And
You can find me at Hook, Line, and Sinker.
Building rods, yeah. So
You can look from the page they're gonna open.
yeah,
That's
look at the
right.
page. Yeah, let's check out
That's
their page,
right.
and it's called Fish Like a Girl on Facebook.
Yep, and
All
we're
right.
also really active on Saltaholics as well.
Okay, so definitely,
Mom's
Saltaholics,
already
Fish
Fish
Like
Like
a Girl. That's why he catches so many fish.
That's right.
So definitely thanks guys for tuning in. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if you have any questions, any follow-up questions. We'll definitely bring them out to Laurel and try to take it from there. So any other closing comments, guys?
No, I think that's it. And again, girls out there, women, God fish. I mean, don't be afraid to find that person, find whether it's a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. Just go out and get in the water, see if you enjoy it. And, I think more often than not, you're going to, so, and again, hit up, girls like Laurel and Holly, and I'll definitely plug in Dottie Wheat, Sean Porsche, is another girl of ours in Galveston, Wanda Stewart in Louisiana. So the women are out there and they're out there to help you, other women who want to do this, and even men, who want to do this and don't want to ask. Sometimes, I think guys would rather ask a girl than a guy, just so that it doesn't seem like I don't know anything, but you'll be surprised.
So guys are jerks.
Yeah, we'll make fun of you if you ask this question. So, again, just go out there, give it a shot, and you'll be surprised. I think you'll enjoy it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one. So, cheers.
In my mind, I've got 'em big red on the line. That's where I go when I'm itching to feed my 7-day addiction.
Orange.
Cup of coffee, early morning. Me, my brothers, and my daddy get going.